Vladdy.
And lineup changes for him?
G's going to go in. Gurbankin, yep.
And is Jules?
And then Jules probably 2 also.
Okay. I would assume you're fairly confident that the other night's going to be a one-off here tonight. That you're going to kind of see a little more what you wanted to out of this one.
Yeah, we had a good video session about what we could have done better against Tampa. Like I said, it wasn't a game that we didn't really do much. And Tampa's like I said, if you really look at it, they're Hagel and Cirelli they kind of were the difference makers. But we got to possess a puck more, better forecheck. I think we were a little disconnected last game.
You played this team pretty well twice already this year. Have you looked at either of those, or is it just kind of another game on the slot here for you?
Well, they drag you in the fight, right? You got to be ready to play against the team. If you're not ready, it can look bad. So I think we want to feel, hey, we know they're going to be aggressive, and we got to have the same attitude.
Garnett was saying they're kind of a man-to-man kind of team.
Yeah.
How do you kind of counter that?
Well, you got to beat your check, move the puck quick, and then beat your check. If you're not skating, man-on-man teams will own you. But if you can beat your check to the net, if you can do a give-and-go game, and like I said, know when you have the puck what you're going to do with it before you actually get it. Those things usually help against man-on-man. But like I said, you need energy. You need the whole team to have energy when you play those type of teams.
Putting Gurbankin in, what do you hope to see from him tonight?
Yeah, I got to see some good forechecking. He's got to know where he goes sometimes in the D zone. Obviously, I want him to play mind-free and just really kind of don't think too much. I think when he's out there, sometimes he thinks too much and he plays a slower game. So I think if he just kind of reacts off a puck and just go, that's when he'll be at his best.
What kind of conversations do you have with him? Because obviously, I'm not saying this is what he's thinking, but he hasn't played in a while. He comes in, he obviously wants to show you that he should be in there every day. How do you maybe mitigate that?
Well, there's a lot more to it there's practices, how you practice. There's video sessions. There's questions when you ask. It's just not about. There's a process to young guys trying to be an NHL player. You got to go through the process. Is he practicing well? Is he the video sessions? Is he getting what we're saying? Things like that. And we're working over the language barrier. So yeah, he's a great kid. So he wants to learn.
How much do you lean on maybe Garnett and Rodrigo to work with him? And Garnett was saying there's like keys that they the line will have for the night. So how do you kind of lean on them, maybe on the bench especially?
Yeah, Gardner's right. I think was it 2 games ago that line, they were really good for us because they play with somewhat of a predictability, and I think will help a guy like Gurbankin. If he kind of knows where to go with speed, he's going to look faster. So predictability is big for guys like that.
But that comes with playing, predictability, fair to say?
Yeah, of course, yeah. But you got to, when you're playing and you're not there, you're not playing predictable, then, there's competition.
I was just wondering how you would maybe assess Trevor Zegras' season so far.
He's very well. He's done a really nice job. He moves his feet. He can make some plays out there. They're hard to find, and he's got to be a difference maker for which he is. He's making some good plays for us.
And it looks like you guys talk a lot, especially.
Yeah.
I saw today you guys were even talking again. What has that relationship been like, and how do you feel like he's very coachable in that way?
Unreal coachable kid. You can tell him anything. Like we talked last game, I thought he didn't really skate, didn't do much, and he came up to me. He actually comes up to me and goes, "Man, I didn't move my feet last game. I could really tell." Where maybe in the past, he'd go 3 or 4 games like that. Perfect example, St. Louis. He had 2 or 3 awful shifts, and after that, he took over. So he's correcting his mistakes a lot quicker, and I got to give that's him. That's all on him.
As far as the lineup changes go, is it just coming off a loss, or is it to get these guys in, a combination?
I'd say a combination. You got to get some of these guys in. Get them some runway here to add some. I didn't think we had a lot of energy and juice last game, so sometimes you add a couple extra guys. Hopefully it gets other guys going.